Welcome to Wings of Change, where stories of soulful transformations come to life. I'm Sara Marzo, the host of this podcast, youth worker, trainer, and ecosomatic coach. Together, we will explore inspiring journeys of growth and change. Are you ready? Let's dive in. And today, I have the pleasure to have with us Christopher Solaman, right? He was also one of the participants in our program From Caterpillar to Butterfly. And he's here today to share his story, his story of a soulful transformation, the story that is here for Wings of Change, this podcast. So Christopher, sorry. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit worried about the outcome of this conversation, but more than ready to do it.
Worry is also welcomed. Here, everything is welcomed and embraced, and it's part of this spontaneous and authentic podcast. So feel free also to drink a cup of tea, cup of coffee. It's a conversation together to share your story. And I'm very curious, and also our listener, I guess, are very curious. But first of all, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you, Christopher? Or Chris, better, right?
Yeah. I'm going by Chris right now again. And I was born a male, and I lived my whole life as this figure that didn't know where to stand, where to belong, or where to find people like-minded, I'd say. And I'd say I spent my whole life searching for such an answer. So I can say who I am right now. I'm a person who's still searching, who's answering his own questions, and at the same time finding new questions to be answered. And this is what's keeping me alive right now, because their answers are coming and going, and the same question will lead to different answers according to the mood and the time of myself, or how I will be, even in the next 5 minutes. Yet it's something I'm welcoming. It's something I'm welcoming right now, because, changes are happening continuously. It can be in just one mere second, and I'm already a different person from when I started, even right now.
Such a presentation, Christopher. So already I can perceive your inner world, your introspection, and your curiosity, your willingness to explore and to live with questions, to search all the time for these questions and these answers and how they can change all the time and how they affect your life, how they make you feel alive somehow, living with these questions. And today we are here a bit to hear you also how these questions were navigating you in the experience of the project From Caterpillar to Butterfly. That was the Erasmus Plus program. And so, Chris, can you tell me what called you to take part in this journey of deep transformation that was from caterpillar to butterfly?
What called me, firstly, was curiosity. And it was pushed though, because it was something I didn't know about. A friend of mine proposed it to me to do this journey together. And What pushed me even farther was the initial rejection. Therefore, I said to myself, do I really want it? Was I really clear in what I was asking? And was I really showing that I wanted to be there, to take part in this journey and to really change? And I guess that I was not totally clear at the very beginning. Maybe most likely my dating life, I was never really showing anything. And so I said to myself, yes, it's, I want it. Do I want it? That's what I asked myself. And then I said, okay, I do want it. I will fight for it. And worst case scenario is not going to happen. But almost 2 years later, I'm here. So it was a good accomplishment.
Oh, you did it. What changed? How could you get in the program by being before rejected and then re admitted? Or is there something like this? I feel like there was a strong
Yes,
motivation driving you.
yes. Well, let's say that firstly it was help from the outer reality. The friend of mine who initially was accepted decided to drop. Perhaps other people dropped. I saw the rejection. I was in the waiting list, I guess. And so I decided to write, write to the organizers and really show my motivation and interest through my writing, because that's what I'm good at, I'd say, right now. So through my writings and my lines, I was able to change maybe my position in the waiting list. Maybe I got an upper level. So yeah, it was a tough moment of my life. So I felt like I really need to push more and more and more till, yeah, I guess I would have fought it till the very last day before the project started if I didn't get it 1 month later.
Mm. So something really deep motivated you to go there to write. It was, I feel like it was the perfect moment, that moment, the perfect opportunity in the perfect, imperfect moment of your life, the moment you needed it the most.
Yes, I was going through a breakup. Was on the verge of ending my very first long relationship, and I was maybe very dependent before
Mm.
to a kind of a sort of addiction, and there was too much. Let's say throughout this relationship, I lost myself. I lost my voice. I was mimicking someone, something actually that was not really me, or was nothing more than an empty shell at a certain point. And for me, especially Erasmus wise, committing for 1 year and a half, 2 years, with a lot of things to think about and to go through, I was like, okay, I never really committed for so long willingly. So even that challenge was alluring.
Mhm. So going out from a breakup and then committing yourself to yourself.
Yes, that's
Committing yourself
better
to
said.
yourself, entering in this juicy relationship to be with yourself and commit to this personal development, personal transformational program, I would dare to say, for 1 year and a half, 2 years, because for our listeners, the program from Caterpillar to Butterfly lasted 2 years with three training courses and many other gatherings, meetings, invitations throughout all the 2 years. And today you're here to share your story. How do you feel?
Well, it's interesting, I would say, positively interesting. Uh, I guess the more I think and talk about it, and the more new ideas will come up. So I'm really curious now.
Hmm. I would like to ask you, you said that you know, you were struggling and then this opportunity was in the right moment of your life. But I have the impression that there was there an inner resource, an inner quality that allowed you in that moment to put you there in that path of the program. If you could identify this quality, this inner voice, or this part of yourself, which part would it be that allowed you to follow this?
Okay, that's a tough one. I don't think it's only one part.
Mhm.
Maybe it's there are fragments of this willingness to change. A lot of seedlings I planted back in the day. I did quite a few self-development processes and trainings before. Um, I was like, okay, this is has a different flavor, a different aroma, let's say. I was like, okay, I need a different touch to this vision, to this quest. So I decided maybe let's say that if I do have quite listening skills, so I was praised before for that, I guess, and yeah, yeah, I was listening a lot to others, so I wanted to listen more to myself, and that's why I was like very pushing. Yeah.
Mhm. So the moment arrived to practice the deep listening towards yourself, to yourself, and that was the opportunity. And while I listen to you, I can perceive courage, determination to get this opportunity and to start and dive even deeper in this journey. And also, I am wondering, you mentioned, you know, that you had already some other opportunities to do personal development programs, other journeys. And I'm curious about your journey before this project and somehow how, you know, they built you this path to come here. What is your story of life?
My life story, yeah. So before joining the project from caterpillar to butterfly, I was already in the Erasmus field since a decade, I guess. Right now it's a decade. In a few months, it's gonna be 10 years exactly that I started this venturing and journey, and I did quite some training courses funded by the Erasmus Plus. Uh, I did the basic synergy from the synergy program as well, which has a completely different approach and touch. And let's say I put myself in situations where comfortable was not exactly the key word for it, yet it had the potentials to give me way more. And yeah, I'm a person who tends to, probably since childhood, to try a lot of new things. Because, yeah, I'd say a really deep curiosity about life itself right now, which perhaps I did not have at times and drag me pretty much low and down throughout my life journey. Uh, yeah, but it brought me here. So right now, today I'm here. So I'm really grateful for those even self-destructive moments.
So curiosity is your drive. Curiosity is bringing you wherever you need to be, and even out of the comfort zone, especially I would say out of the comfort zone, at the edgy places where you challenge yourself enough to grow. And curiosity is, it seems to be one of your deep, I don't even have the word to say this, but the inner fire, maybe, that is
Yeah,
yeah, moving you. This curiosity, you said, deep curiosity about life. So this deep curiosity is bringing you wherever you have to be, wherever you have to go. Right, interesting. And let's go a bit, if you wish, to the program itself.
okay.
Do you have any story, any insight, or anything you would like to share with our listeners about these these 2 years of experiences that you shared with other participants and with your guides?
Yes, there's a lot actually, and recalling those state of mind, maybe it's not the brightest, but let's go a little bit more orderly and chronologically. When I arrived there, after the efforts of getting in, I felt like a little bit out of this realm. I felt that the discomfort was a little bit too much to be handled. Yes, not enough to give up immediately, but I was like, okay, I'm not, I don't belong. Yeah, that's exactly the word. I don't belong. During the project, the majority was of female people, which normally it's something I'm at ease with. Uh, but the language spoken, even though it was English, was focused on something I never heard before. Talking about this allness, about all of it. I was like, okay, maybe I face it differently. I don't like definitions myself. I don't like to study definitions. So why do I have to identify myself? At the very beginning, the very first time that we're gathered and having kind of a ceremony actually, it was about calling ourselves with a name. And I was like, okay, so far people called me and gave me names, mean names and positive ones, of course, but how can I call myself? Before being called Chris, going back to Chris actually, they used to call me Chief, which came from a name with whom they were bullying me. And the very first ceremony was about giving ourselves a name. And since that right moment, maybe it was the first evening, I guess, or something like that, I was terrified, shocked, and decided to go by nameless back then. Because, yeah, I was fed up with defining myself, giving myself other names, which were not me. Because without listening from the deep self of mine, how could I understand my own name? And throughout the three in live meetings, and especially during the parts in which we were physically apart, I kept on changing names. I said, okay, let's keep on moving, let's keep on changing them. I went through, I don't know, countless names. The more striking ones, perhaps, I would say the name I ended up from the first phase was love and sacrifice. In the midways, I became between one and second phase, I became hugging chaos and crystal clear when I finally stopped for a moment, when I decided to stop myself physically instead of running from place to place. That was crystal clear. That's what I wanted to do and needed to do. And then during phase two, during our retreat in Cyprus, something changed again. It was a big change, I'd say. And I decided back then, towards the end, to go back and embrace all the names I received up till that very moment. Oh gosh, now it's 6, 7 months ago already, but I decided to accept all of them. Accept all of them. All of them ended up under Iron Sky. And then months later, I decided just to keep it clear, and it became just Crystal.
Cristo.
So Crystal.
Crystal.
So that's, yeah, which still contains my name. So it's still Crystal. Because why not?
Hmm. How fascinating this story of the names. Maybe our listeners would like to know more about this practice, or not even a practice, but why they asked you to change your name, to call you by your name. I'm not sure that everyone is aware of this process. Would you like to share a bit with our listeners what is about this name changing?
Okay, as I said before, I don't really know about definitions, so what I can say is my own perspective. So I hope it will be welcome or maybe rejected to the point of being cracking something. Um, from back in the day, I'd say from our ancestral times, giving names was very important. In tribal times, we were given one first name when we were born. Then through puberty, I'd say around that time when we started to become adults, we're given the second name, and the third one was coming in the adulthood. So name calling was very, very important even back then. And I'd say we forgot about it. We forgot about the ceremony of calling ourselves in a certain manner, in a certain way, and truly understand what it means. According to well, not studies really, but um, let's say from early days, names and words actually had a real power. By giving ourselves names meant that we were embracing the power within it and saying, okay, this is what is identifying me right now, and that's what I want to feed and power up even more. So from my own perspective, what I can say is that in just few words, calling ourselves with a certain name means that we really understand what it means and we really want to follow up with that name. I can just say an example of my given name is Christopher, which is translated from ancient Greek, means the one that brings. Is kind of the Caronte of the Christian mythology. So in a certain manner, it's love and sacrifice. And to bring something to the world with my own name means sacrificing something else for the sake of love.
Wow, how beautiful. How beautiful, really, to listen to all those names that you were somehow exploring and then embodying and then questioning and then changing and then finally including as all as part of who you are, a whole part of your transformation, your process, and the importance of owning a name, calling yourself and embodying what I receive from you, and tell me if I'm right. It is that naming you is embodying yourself, embodying the name you have, the name you give to yourself. So I'm now curious if it's like this. Of course,
Hmm.
if it is like this, now what are you embodying with the name Crystal?
Crystal, wow. Yeah. I'd say by names, I'm kind of giving myself a foundation, strong grounding. At the same time, I'm giving myself a top, a reach where I want to be more, let's say like this, to put it simpler. And by crystal, what I see in crystal right now is the opportunity to have several faces and yet belong to the same exact one. Through having different kind of lights, fragment them and decompose and recompose them in a different aspect. Crystal is sturdy, yet is very fragile. So if it hit in the wrong spot, it can crumble really fastly. Yet its beauty at its utmost essence. So I'm embracing the message of beauty. There's beauty everywhere nowadays. I'd say we just forgot about it. And through Crystal, I want to veiculate that. I want to say, okay, stop for a moment, look around you. Yeah, it might look like shit. Sorry for the word. I'm not. It might look horrible, but let it pass through you and transform it into something beautiful.
Hmm. So, Crystal, that is still containing a part of your actual, name, and yet it is embracing all this beauty, this belonging, something that you said, I didn't belong, but this belonging by being also so multifaceted somehow, and this being at the same time beautiful and fragile. How wonderful. Chris, such a nice metaphor. I mean, name in this case, but also I
I'm losing.
love the metaphor.
Okay, I lost you for a moment there. Uh, Will you repeat, please?
Yeah, I was sharing with our listeners the beauty of your name, that is still having your actual name and still incorporating, the different phases, facets of the crystal and the beauty and the being fragile. And how beautiful it is, this the name, but the metaphor that is inside your name in this moment that you are, I feel like you are aiming to embody this in your life, like it's a metaphor that you want to live through.
Hmm. Yeah, in a certain way, yeah, it is. Actually, not in a certain way. It is. It is. It actually is, yes.
Wow. Thank you for sharing this naming process. It is also a soul name as invitation. It was one of the invitation you received during the program. And thank you also for, sharing with such vulnerability all the process you went through. I feel it was a strong and, you know, um, tormented or really felt as a process to come up with this crystal name.
Yeah, I still have shivers just thinking about all the process.
Yeah, I imagine. And yeah, what else would you like to share with our listeners about the program? You said this was one of the moments of the challenges, the invitation you went through. Is there anything else you would like to share? Like maybe the most beautiful moment or insightful moment or any other moment of the program was meaningful to you?
Okay. We had a lot of time on our own, going to wonders and being alone with our own questions, which was really enriching, especially in a world where we do, and do nothing more than doing and never stopping thinking. So I have a lot of these moments I gave myself in order not to be overclouded by just doing without thinking. And even while doing, I had, let's say, the opportunity to keep on thinking. Um, one of the striking moments I have to say for me was is divided in two parts. I'd say during the first phase, we kind of showed it to each other who we were at that moment, or more about our past, what formed us. And then after that, let's say there was so much focus on our own selves that I ended up forgetting about everyone else there in my path till till we reached the third and last physical encounter where it was asked us to perform for the others, enact, make a ceremony to show the others what we were doing for ourselves. And I think that was one of the most beautiful moments we have received. Thinking about the others, I start from there, was for me finally seeing the others for who they became, for the ones who reached that point of showing themselves authentically. And it was such a beautiful moment. Even just the process of choosing when to go. And regarding myself, yeah, there I had the opportunity to think of who I became throughout all this process. Who I became, how did I see myself, and really pondering, because it took me some courage to do that. How much is important how I show myself, but more importantly, how much do I show to myself how I look like? So through, I call it performance because for me, I'm more connected to arts than ceremonies. I'd say I performed what I really was right back in that moment. I could say I opened the Pandora box of myself to the others and decided to reject the fear of not belonging, as was mentioned before, as not being worthy, not being enough. And we had a little bit time to prepare ourselves, let's say, so we could plan it. The only thing I planned was what to bring with me. And what I embraced after that moment and right before a moment was what I am, an improviser. I like to have thousands of options, but what is most important for me is to be able to act according to the moment and how I really feel in that moment in order to be more authentic. And I'd say that was one of the most striking moments. Yes, I'd say that was precious. Yeah,
Mm. So what you're talking about, it was the invitation to prepare a soul enactment, right?
exactly. Yeah,
That
yeah.
Sandra and Eleni, your guides, the trainers, offer to you and all other participants in the program. And this soul enactment sounds to have been for you quite quite a challenge because it meant to be seen, but firstly from yourself, for who you
Hmm.
where you are in this moment, and then I receive while listening to you, I really receive also this being at ease with whatever will happen, here and now, and go with the flow, life. I receive like this strong feeling, improvising, but with what is there. And I'm ready. I can be witnessed the way I am now. I can go with whatever happens. I don't know. This is a sensation that I was not there where you were performing this, but I received this authenticity in being totally and fully accepted, whatever is the outcome.
Yeah, if I have to add on that, it was especially embracing my emotions.
Mm.
Because even there, sometimes I was terrified. It was just 20 minutes, but I was terrified not to have enough time, or on the contrary, having too much time. I was terrified of whatever could happen. Um, but yeah, it was very important for me telling myself whatever is happening, I'm ready for whatever is coming. And other part which was very important to me during that process and invitation was accepting help from others. Because someone proposed for help, and I said, okay, and choose which kind of help I wanted to have. Because finding the right people for the right job, even that part, even just for getting an extra inspiration right before going on stage, was crucial.
Mm.
Yes,
So also accepting help was one of your
yes.
takeaway of this process. Courage to ask and accept for help, because you're not alone at the end of the day. So somehow accepting the fragileness of
Hmm.
the crystal somehow, to receive also help when it's fragile, or moment when it is needed. Wonderful, amazing. Thank you, Chris. And I'm also curious to know, since you're already mentioning you developed so many qualities, so many inner resources in this program, and this program was about wholeness, the cultivating wholeness, following the nature-based map of the human psyche created by Bill Plotkin. I'm really curious to ask you if you could, place or identify the the quality of wholeness that you developed in all facets of the map. For our listeners, there are four directions of this map that are north, south, east, and west, and in each direction there are qualities that are also mirrored by nature. It's a nature-based map. I'm curious to ask you, what were these qualities that were showing up during the journey, or were cultivated?
Yeah. As I said, I'm not very good with definitions. So what I can say is this lot of care for myself was coming from the north, the nurturing generative adult within me. I was always there present, and it was something I was not really listening to. Um, yeah, I'd say that all these facets, sides anyway, they were always with us. Just they were not cultivated or listened to enough. So I'd say yes. Naturally speaking, I'm going a lot with the sacred fullness. I think it's in the east, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Still, I'm questioning myself even right now. And the sacred fullness is something that was always with me, and I just had to embrace it and accept it, accept it because it's part of me. But taking care of myself, yeah, that's where I had to push the gas a lot. Yeah, a lot there. Nah, the West with the darker muses, yeah, it was already fed enough in throughout my life, but taking care of myself, not so much.
Mm. Yeah, that's why your first name was not nameless, but then love and sacrifice. And then the
Yeah,
north, that is this, as you said, the nurturing generative adult, the part of us that can take care of ourselves, nurture ourselves, give us what we need, our inner parents, the compassion, everything there is still, within everyone, but, cultivating it, it's another story, right? Intentionally
exactly.
bringing attention to this and cultivating in your life, it's a totally different perspective, I guess. Mm. Are you willing to share maybe now some practices that you're using to cultivate wholeness, or maybe the north, the parts of your psyche that really needed to be cultivated intentionally? Because I feel like the sacred fullness, so this amusement, this part of adventure or lightness was already somehow there spontaneously, and now you embrace it even more. But what about the other parts of yourself that were still not mature? How are you cultivating them?
Mm, For the North, I would say a lot of journaling, a lot of journaling, because that's where uh, that's where it's all happening. Just for me, at least, it's a moment where, when and where I can express myself for myself and better understand that what I'm lacking eventually, what I'm not doing, and I'd say that's mostly what I'm mostly doing for nurturing for all the sides, even for the West with the darker muses. Uh, it's still about journaling. I don't know. For me right now, it's mostly there. I'm not touching the South right now. A lot. Maybe I didn't feed it enough, or maybe it's something that I don't have a recipe for it yet. I'm still looking for that recipe. Maybe someone else will inspire me in the future. But for now, it has its own journey south, and yeah, with the wilderness, it's still there. I don't know. It's parts that are were always there. So
Mm. The South,
that's that was my focus.
yeah, yeah. So for our listeners, the South is the place where the indigenous part, wild part, authenticity, emotions, belonging is there. And it sounds like that at the moment you are strongly and intentionally cultivating North. That was this nurturing, caring adult within you in order to take care of whatever else will arise in your life, but being there for whatever happens and journaling.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you're mentioning it like this, it came to my mind for the South. I'm reaching out to people. So whereas with journaling, I go a lot within myself. Through the South, I'm going a lot towards the others. Because, yeah, I think to belong somewhere needs to be, for me, means to show myself and to find my own people. But without talking to anyone, how can I find those people? So reaching out, it's having a chit chat with a friend, or that ends up eventually in the wellness field. It's always helping me.
Mm. So reaching out, you learn how to reach out and ask for help and belonging. I feel this belonging became part of belonging to a community, belonging to a tribe, belonging to a group of beloved people where you can rely on and you can really ask for what you need. And journaling also is one of the practices, the precious practices that you take with you. And one of the many practices, because you had many invitations and practices that were shared during the program. But journaling is what helps you to listen to yourself and to be in relationship with yourself, and then asking for help to be in relationship with others, to be there and belong somehow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add about this wholeness, this part?
Yeah. Something that struck me through, especially in the third phase, was really understanding that we all have different definitions of things. So what Bill Plotkin provides is just one of the many languages in which we can understand better things, but we're not all the same. Deep down, deep to the core, we're all the same and we're all different. So maybe it was not the right moment to listen to these words. Maybe I just had to find my own understanding of it. And for me, how to practice wellness, understanding my own language as well. And in which way I can really perceive and understand things. Because I'm a polyglot, so I speak several languages. And even though I speak in several languages, I understand that even this wellness is a different kind of language that to be spoken of, to be understood, needs to be studied a little bit more.
Mm. So it is like how to make wholeness your own definition, not defined by someone
Exactly.
else, but what means for you wholeness in your crystal's language. That is not what is for me, what is for someone else, but is wholeness for you, Crystal. Is that this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Would you dare to say what is wholeness for you?
Wholeness for me is, I have no idea. I didn't come up with my own definition of it right now. What comes to my mind right now about wholeness and the way I see it, it's about a lot about acceptance, authentic acceptance of the inner world, the inner struggles, the outer struggles, and still being able to authentically and um, how to say it, well, to go with intuition a lot and to be able to embrace whatever is happening while keeping the ground solid and not making it muddy on my own, but having a solid grounding. And that's what wellness is for me. Having a strong ground while being able to still reach out, reach farther, reach higher without forgetting that there's a ground, a solid ground from where to start everything. Because without foundations, we're nothing more than castles in the air.
Mm. So it sounds like wholeness for you is the foundations, the foundation of everything, of acceptance, authenticity, intuition, embracing whatever is happening, but has to do a lot with this strong grounding, this strong foundation that keeps everything up at the end of the day.
Yeah, the big plus about it, I'd say, is making life easier. So with a stronger grounding, everything else is way easier. With accepting whatever is happening around, life is easier. And why do we have to keep making things more complicated than they are when everything is there. It's just about it. Some people call it laziness. I'd say it's wrong to say. Laziness is just nothing more than a strong skill to say, okay, I will put myself at ease somewhere else, but it doesn't matter because I'm there grounded. So
Mm.
easier life is not such a bad thing in the very end.
Mm. So makes wholeness makes life easier. And it's not laziness, it's just living life with easiness. Like having this strong foundation allows you to live an easier life. Is that what is your message
Yeah,
at the moment? Okay, great,
yeah, I'd say yes.
great. So wondering about your life. What changed in your life, in your daily life? You know, you had almost 2 years journey, 1 year and a half and more maybe of this program. And if you could, you know, go backwards and then look in perspective, what changed in like intangible or tangible changes that happened in your life throughout the program?
Mm, well, thinking backwards, what I can say is that my way of seeing things changed, of course. That was a given after all I said before. What changed is the way I relate to others, or better said, I felt guilt before about taking my own time. I felt guilt about not doing what the outer world would like for me to do. There's this soul calling, and that Bill Plotkin is talking about a lot. And I got fed up with saying, okay, I have to do it for someone else. I'm doing what I'm doing for my own self. And the better I stay, the better is going to be my approach and my contact with the others. So I'm taking more time for myself right now in my daily life. I'm giving myself all the time I need. And then reaching out to others when I'm really ready without uh, let's say, easier word, being a mess and asking people without knowing what I'm asking. So bringing my own chaos and mess to others, but coming to others when I'm feeling ready to really be there and not just being there just to fill up an empty seat. It's better to have an empty seat around instead of having a seat which is filled with someone or myself not being really there, I'd say. I'm 100% there when I'm there. If I'm not there, means that I'm doing something else, and I accept it.
Mm. It sounds like a lot of presence, practicing presence
Yeah,
in being there and being fully present with yourself and really listening to your needs, your emotions, and your thoughts. And this allows you also being better with yourself, tuning in with your soul, if we want to use a Will Plotkin definition, that is your authenticity, your, I would say, uniqueness. And at the same time, this supports you in dealing with others and relating better to others, right?
yes. At the same time, I have to point out that means that some of the times I take off from reality, let's say the outer world, means that I'm even taking care of myself, like even taking just a breather or just I don't know, doing nothing, what people would say doing nothing, but at the same time it's always doing something, because self-care is not doing nothing, it's just breathing before doing something else.
Mhm. Yeah, and again, it sounds a lot like nurturing. sounds like
Yes.
nurturing generative adults, this capacity of yours, innate capacity, and yet cultivated to take care of yourself. And I can perceive this care where you talk about this. Even breathing, even doing nothing, but this is what I need, and I will do it because it's for me. This is what I get when I listen to you. Great. I feel it as a strong message also for our listeners is take care of yourself and embrace everything that is happening and in order to relate better to others. And we still have a few minutes together. Christopher, is there something that I didn't ask but you would like to be asked? Something, the question I didn't ask
Uh,
you.
well, that's a nice question. It's even more challenging than the "how are you" really kind of question. But there's something I would like, this quote that comes to my mind. Uh, I will say it with my own words because I don't remember exactly how it sounds, but to be human is to be visible. And for me, it was very striking this moment because when I had to listen to this sentence a lot and struggle with this quote a lot because I think my whole life I was very physically visible due to my appearance, a lot due to my physical appearance, and if not physical, style wise. And then I was like, okay, but that's not all of it because the other part is to be visible, not only for the others, but for myself as well. And looking at myself at the mirror before before this project and during this project was still kind of challenging. And now I can say this is another exercise I'm doing a lot. Looking at myself at the mirror and say to myself, okay, is this how you look like? Are you satisfied with how you look like? Are you happy? Are you in a bad mood? How can you change it? But looking myself, really looking at myself at the mirror and being satisfied with what I'm seeing. And if not satisfied, thinking about what I can change in order to be more satisfied about how I look like for the others, but especially for myself.
So to be human is to be visible. This is the message, one of the messages, or one of the quotes in this case, that was shared as a piece of wisdom in the program, and visible for yourself. And even practicing this uh, deeply looking at yourself in the mirror, and I perceive again embracing who you are and then asking yourself, okay, what can I do to feel even more embraced and accepted and seen? Since you said visible, visible, to be visible firstly for myself and then for the world. How precious this learning. I feel it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, is there any message you'd like to deliver to our listeners in the end of this podcast? Do you have any message urgent and pushing inside you that wants to be there and wants to be shared with our listeners, youth workers, whoever is going to meet this podcast?
I'd say it's not about being perfect. Life will never be perfect because perfect for whom? It's just about accepting that we cannot be always happy because if you would be always happy, then we will never be really happy because we never faced and experienced something else. So everything is coming around won't last forever. All the negative and positive emotions are coming and going, but the longer we think about them, the more we're feeding them. So if we have any negative emotion and we keep on thinking and overthinking about them, then they're gonna last eventually forever. Whereas if you just accept that you're sad or it's not how you want it to be, then it's okay. It's all right. Nobody died for being sad for a moment, but many people can die if they keep on thinking about it and not doing anything about it.
So life is not perfect, but embrace it. Whatever is there, any emotion, there could be sadness, happiness, learn to embrace it. Is this the
So,
message?
yeah, yeah. Easier words, yes, it's what I want to share.
So let's embrace life and let's embrace this journey that will go on. I thank you very much, Chris, for being Chris Crystal, for being here with us in the podcast. And yeah, if you want to add anything.
I think that's going to be even enriching for myself. So thank you very much, Sarah, for this opportunity. It helped me really much recalling and recollecting all my memories and the experience of this very long journey. And it's just a phase. So I'm really, really grateful for this time and opportunity.
And thank you again for your openness and gratitude, deep gratitude for sharing with so many other people your story of soulful transformation. Bye, Chris.
Bye. Have a lovely day. Enjoy.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, Wings of Change. Stay tuned and listen to more inspiring stories on our Spotify channel, Volcanic Minds. See you on our next journey.